All right, Vivsy Pop. Okay, sure. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. You're signaling. You're saying, "Hey, I'm about to monopolize your time again. I'm about to steal your entire schedule, asshole." Yeah, I know. I get it. I understand. Yes, ma'am. I'll be a good boy. Fine. Show me what the latest thing is. Well, for now it's just a short, but once the season drops, I guess that's what I'm going to be doing with my life. Woe is me. Good animation that I get to just watch and somehow make money by doing that. I have the hardest life, my friends. The most difficult of them all. Anyway, let's watch some Hell of a Boss. And I am excited, I will say. I am excited to get to see Barbie. Because we only really got her in that one episode with Blitz and like a little bit of flashback. Like, we haven't really seen her, who she is as a character outside of the context of Blitz's traumatic backstory. So I should be curious to see who she is otherwise. Prescription guaranteed. Our delivery guys are just as lost as you are.
You can't fire me.
Oh boy, how do I put this? You job no more.
I barely did anything wrong.
Ooh, yeah, well, you got a human killed on the job, which caught the attention of the authorities and cut the supply line.
Oh, fuck off. It's just one ugly as shit human. And wasn't even my fault.
I think I got a hold of the wrong subtitles there. They don't usually censor them, which means that these are the YouTube auto-generated subtitles. God damn it. Okay, we'll just have to live with it. Unless they get too shitty. I like his animation. I like his acting. So we're in the sloth ring, right? Presumably that's a sloth imp. And like there's goats elements, right? Like we have like goat horns, floppy ears, we have like the slit pupils. And there is a certain sort of laziness to his animation. Like not super sleepy. Not like the sloths in Zootopia or whatever, but there is like a certain laxness, a certain slackness to it. Yeah, it's there too. Like you can see, like when he resists her. I know I'm skipping ahead of what we actually heard, but even when like she grabs his hand and he resists, there's like the shoulders are down, the back is kind of like, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, right. He's not forceful, and that's a nice energy contrast with Barb also.
Oh, fuck off. It's just one ugly as shit human. And wasn't even my fault. Look, Gerald, I need this fucking gig. What happened to the strike system, huh?
Well, strike one was the time you rammed the ambulance driver.
He was
Wait.
Well, strike one was the time you rammed the ambulance driver.
Do I recognize that voice?
Well, strike one was the time you rammed the ambulance driver.
Something about it pings as familiar, but I couldn't place it. I guess we'll find out.
Driver.
He was double part.
Strike two was when you sent that mass email that threatened to, and I quote, fuck the boss's tight ass and his hot as fuck wife.
That wasn't a threat. That was an offer.
Yeah, no, she sure is Blitz's sister.
And strike three was killing that ugly human. Now please hand over your Asmodean crystal. We will send half of your remaining check in the mail.
Half? Ow! Fine. Fuck you and your dumb job anyway. Who fucking needs ya? Ow!
Yep, no, yeah, she's Blitz's sister. Oh, really? She's still in touch with Fizz. Right, no, yeah, she is. Profile picture alert for those who want it. I like that. That's a good way to show the pain, right? Like, she has slammed her tail in the door, and so what do? We just harmonica. Just accordion that shit. It's because accordions in Danish are harmonicas for some reason.
Ow!
Fucking of course they have. This is such an old meme format. Also, like the fucking rainbow background shit. That's advice animals. That's fucking lolcat era memes. Interesting that she was very careful around that puddle. Like, not just, like, casually stepping around it, but, like, being very careful of it, and then... And I, like, partly, presumably that's to set up the joke, right? Like, that the very next thing that happens is she gets soaked. But is that also characterization? Like, does she have a thing about that? I don't know.
What? No! No, no, no! No! Come on!
Background character designs. I'm just enjoying them. I genuinely hope that as many of the animators at Spindlehorse as possible just slip their own OCs into the background as much as possible. Ma'am?
In 45 minutes. Llegaremos a Pride in...
You could almost do a la da 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 da. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces.
City in 45 minutes. Llegaremos a Pride in City.
Pussy bitch! Yeah, go back to fucking greed, mate! Fucking step to me, bro! Come on, step in the elevator, you dog! I ain't getting it! You think you're top shit, you mate?
Due to sudden delays, we will arrive at Pride in City in 120 minutes. Debido a problemas, llegaremos a Pride in City en 120.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that makes sense. That'll happen sometimes. That's just kind of how it goes. Good for them.
Oh, you're so fucking shit at kissing, mate. You started firing me, bro.
It's a good little gesture, this one. Like the rubbing her eye with the butt of her palm. It also makes, like, I wonder if that's because she just has such sharp fingers that she kind of can't scratch her eye with, with those without putting it out. You know, Barb, you need to Fujo more. It'll make it more enjoyable to go through life.
I got the good shit this time. Pure crystals.
Oh, fuck yes. Oh, I needed this.
Right, yeah. She also had substance abuse problems. You can see a signifier here, a little bit of cinematography, as she gets that urge, right? Like, as she gets the reminder, flickering light turns off, right? Like, and then back on, right? Because that's the temptation. Literally, her halo goes out. Right? Literally, the light goes out as she considers it, as she wants it, and then she goes, nope, nope, not going back there again. And the light comes back on. That's quite good. I guess Wally is selling wood now. Have a whack at Wally's wood. Maybe don't phrase the advertisement like that.
Rick! Rickety Rick! My favorite sandwich guy!
Barbie, don't start. You know my dad don't want me serving you no more.
Come on, Rick. I've had the shittiest day. Just one whittle sandwich? I'm good for... half?
Fine. But this is the last time, Barbs, you hear me? For real.
And it's about to go wrong. Oh, okay, she gets the sandwich. That's good. At least she gets the sandwich. Little flickering light again.
Thanks, Satan, you're back. Where the hell have you been? I tried texting and calling, and the phone tracker didn't work.
No bigs. Walked through a fucking waterfall down in Sloth. Hungry? I got half of a sandwich.
Oh, for me? How romantic.
Come here, you. Oh yeah, I got fired.
What? Barbs, you needed that job. It wasn't for drugs, was it?
What? No! I got some human killed. You know, thanks to my dumb fuck brother. What? Why did you think that? You know I'm off demon shit.
Because when I got home today, I found some of that shit in the back of the pantry.
What? That's...
So this short is not one of the super funny ones, huh? It's interesting the ways in which you can see Blitz in her movement, right? You can see that when she's putting on the show, right? Like when she's playing up a persona, she's making a lot of the same choices that Blitz does physically. Not completely, but like there's a similarity. Like it partly comes down to the similarity of their character design, right? They have the same body morphology basically, but like, that fully is how Blitz would enter the same scene to try and do the same thing. To try and get a sandwich out of someone when he's broke, right? Like, that feels very him, without being, like, completely a carbon copy. There's an overlap between the two of them. And the thing is, I suspect that goes the other way as well, right? I suspect they have similar modes of conflict resolution. So, like, Rick clearly likes her, right? Like, Rick has a lot of sympathy for her. Maybe he has a little thing for her, who knows, and she's sort of taking advantage of it. And you kind of, like, you see his expression here. He knows that it's her, and he's like, ugh. And then hands on the desk, and just the head hanging like, ugh, God damn it, right? There's an exhaustion there. But it's not like, oh, God, I hate this bitch. It's, oh man, like it feels more like this is him sort of knowing, like, I'm gonna have to let her down. And it's gonna suck, right? And she's gonna commit, like, it's more the exhaustion of, like, knowing that he doesn't really want to let her down. And okay, she's got half, like, fine, whatever, but please don't make me do this again. I like, good job on the animator there. The little tiny eye twitch as she's counting is good. Profile picture alert. Good tail work on her as well. How do they handle the tail when she comes in? Because, like, running across, it just sort of drags, and then, like, as she's moving fast, it just sort of drags, and then when she slows down, it starts whipping a little bit more. Okay, not much tail work in that shot there, but... She has the sandwich, the tail kind of drags, but it also... She's kind of wagging it almost a little bit. And it's also the little detail, right, that she has the sandwich, and then there's that, like, she's looking over her shoulder for something to go wrong. Like, I assumed, because the whole thing is, like, it's Barbie's bad day, right? Like, shit just goes wrong, wrong, wrong. So there's that moment of, like, I have something good. Okay, what's gonna go wrong? Is something... Like, eat it as fast as possible, but only half. Because she's saving the other half for her girlfriend. That's very, very cute. Whey, that's too fast.
Oh, for me? How romantic.
Come here, you.
That is so cute. There's so much familiarity and playfulness to that. It's very intimate. Because it's like, offers half the sandwich. We know it's not about the sandwich because she just throws it away. Right? Half a sandwich. Oh, how romantic. Pretending to walk away. Looks over the shoulder, right? Like inviting the chase, and then... You can see the playfulness, that this is something they've done before, right? This is a kind of game that they play. That's very sweet.
Barbs, you needed that job. It wasn't for drugs, was it?
What? No! I got some human killed. You know, thanks to my dumb fuck brother? What? Why did you think that? You know I'm off demon shit.
Because when I got home today, I found some of that shit in the back of the pantry.
What? That's not mine. Must be some old shit. Come on, I'm clean. You know that.
I'm so tired of this. I just need to figure out how we're gonna cover rent. Again. You know that I stuck my neck out recommending you for that job? And the one before that? I'm running out of favors, Barb.
Yeah, well, I never asked you to do that.
Don't give me attitude. You know what? I can't deal with this right now. Keep your damn sandwich and sleep on the fucking couch!
I'm so sorry, baby. She did not have to disrespect you like that.
Hell yeah. Oh, well, they're about to have a good time.
What the fuck? Get off me, dog!
Oh, or...
Fuck off! I should have...
Barbie, what was
today. Barbie!
Yeah, that was just a fucking bad day, man. It's their early dating. Aw. I wonder if Barb feels about fish the way that Blitz feels about horses. I'm sure I've looked you up before, Ginny Jong, but I'm gonna do it again, because I don't remember. Right, she was in Pitch Perfect. Oh, she did... Oh, no, yeah, she did voice. She voiced Barbie last time as well. Right, okay. Let's see, what do we got here for a credits list? A lot of TV work. Mostly TV work, actually. Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong, where she played Asian wife. Evil Bong 420. Shameless. Oh, cool. Angel from Hell. Evil Bong High Five. Sensitivity Training. The Fosters. Two Broke Girls for an episode. Adam Ruins Everything as a bartender. Bob's Burgers as a secondary voice. The Ginger Dead Man Murderthon also. Yeah, not a huge credit list, but goes back to like 2010. So she's been working. I feel like I recognize that name. Oh, yes, I do. She was on Westworld. Oh, no. Wow, okay. Now here's a... Boy, that's a working voice actor. All right. Let's see. Magic School Bus, back in 1994, where she voiced Keisha Franklin. Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Goosebumps. That's a cool credit to have. More Magic School Bus. So much Magic School Bus. Holy shit. General Hospital. Damn. Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Karen. Dave the Barbarian. El Tigre, Twilight Shadow. Dragon Age Origins as multiple voices. Diablo 3 as the Witch Doctor female. Lightning Returns as some additional voices. Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls Online. Lego Batman 3, Evolve. There's a blast from the past. Heroes of the Storm, some voices. Fallout 4 as Darla and Fahrenheit. XCOM 2, StarCraft 2. Uncharted, World of Warcraft Legion. Rosewood. Dishonored 2. Arrow. Justice League Action, Avengers Assemble, NCIS, Injustice 2, Adventures of Puss in Boots. XCOM 2. A couple of episodes of Westworld. Voiced Sapphire for not sure what, but it's a Steven Universe and the Dove Self-Esteem Project. Seems like a promotional crossover thing. Let's see. World of Warcraft, Critical Role one-shot she was on. Spider-Man PS4. Fallout 76, Voltron. Steven Universe of Sapphire just in general? Okay, yeah, cool. Voiced Sapphire in general. That makes more sense to me. Apex Legends Bangalore. Oh, cool. Steven Universe Future again. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Last of Us Part 2. Marvel Avengers, Star Wars Squadrons. Black of Duty Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Adventure Time. Damn. Curious George. The Yellow Wallpaper. The Yellow... The yellow... As in, hang on, an adaptation of... Oh, it is! God, it is an adaptation of the yellow wallpaper. It's just straight up an adaptation of the yellow wallpaper. Okay. I was like, that key art looks way too cute to be an adaptation of the yellow wallpaper. Nope, it straight up is. Okay, Horizon Forbidden West, Zoe. Solar Opposites. Omega Strikers, interesting. World of Warcraft again, Crisis Core, Dead Space. That would be the 2023 remake, yeah. Call of Duty again, Modern Warfare 3, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hell of a Boss as Agent 2 for a couple of episodes. Marvel Rivals, Castlevania Nocturne as Esther. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Date Everything as Nightmare. Battlefield 6, Tomb Raider The Legend of Lara Croft, Adventure Time Fiona and Cake, and World of Warcraft Midnight. That's a hell of a credits list. Goddamn. Jaden Libran, or Libran. Do I recognize you from something? The voice was vaguely familiar. Let's see. Huh, maybe not. He did a voice for the Beavis and Butthead reboot. A couple of voices, actually. Yeah, not a lot of things I'm familiar with here. Clonopolis. There's some TV work, some acting work. He's done puppetry as well. For the Happy Time Murders. That I have heard of. A puppeteer. That's fucking cool. Outside of that, don't know him from a lot. Oh, he did voice the Joker on The Death of Batman. Interesting. Oh, it's a Max Landis film. Ah, well, yeah. Well, everyone has to work. The rest of the names I do recognize. I wonder why that's there. Again, it's YouTube automatic subtitles, so I guess they just interpret the music as words. We're gonna go back over this short before we're done. It's just... It's like, there wasn't that much to crack jokes about. In this one, it was just like, oh yeah, no, that's a fucking shit day, actually. But I got exactly what I wanted out of it. I got to spend some time with Barb and understand her better as a person outside of just, you know, being Blitz's contentious sister. I guess here we're seeing trouble in paradise, huh? Yeah. I mean, hey, good on Spindlehorse for giving us Doomed Yuri. We don't see that as much these days. I mean that genuinely, by the way. I'm fucking glad to get some more queer women in here. Because, like, that's clearly a fucking fractured relationship, right? Like, that's a relationship that you can tell that she fucking cares about Barb, right? Because it's Barb gets to have the door open for 0.5 seconds before she's hanging off of her, right? Because she was clearly scared. She was clearly worried about her, right? She's been working very hard to help Barb get clean, to try and, like, help have both of them put their lives together. And things are good, and then, oh yeah, I got fired from the job. Again, right? And it's like, man, it's one of those things where, like, if the material circumstances that they lived under weren't so fucking shit, right? If the material circumstances they lived under weren't so fucking shit, you could see so easily a path for the two of them to be happy together, right? If it wasn't constantly such a fucking struggle for them to make rent, if it wasn't constantly a struggle for them to get food, if it was like, if then Barb losing her job would be like, oh, okay, that sucks, but that's not a disaster, right? Oh, you lost your job? Well, okay, yeah, like, we'll eat a little bit less for a month or two, and then you can go and find something else, right? Like, if it was in a healthier economic circumstance where losing a job isn't akin to, like, oh, I guess now we're going to be possibly homeless. Now we're going to possibly go without food for 2 months. Like, now we're going to possibly, right? You can see where it's circumstance, right? It's not really... And we know from the episode that what happened on that job was, like, not entirely Barb's fault, right? It's like, yeah, no, that wasn't really within her control, although, you know, but presumably some previous fuck-ups have been on her, right? Again, she takes after her brother. And it's one of those things of, like, knowing that she, like, put all this work into finding Barb that job, right? Like, recommended her for it, stuck her neck out, like, called in favors trying to get her that job. It's like, yeah, it's not Barb's fault, but it's also like, yeah, no, she's probably gonna be fucking exhausted by that, right? And this all ties into Barb's addiction story, right? The general thing with addiction in real life is, outside of the physical dependence that a person can develop to the drugs that they're taking, it's like addiction tends to happen more viciously and more dangerously to people who are in dire material circumstances, right? There's a lot of people who, because of the economic and material circumstances they're in, can take drugs recreationally and they're fine, right? Where they maybe they develop a little bit of a habit, but they have access to the therapy, they have access to rehab, they have access to, like, and they have support networks around them that can support them out of a drug addiction, right? Whereas the more economically precarious you get, a drug addiction becomes more and more difficult a problem to solve, because solving that problem requires means, right? It's not a matter of willpower for a person to kick a drug habit. It really isn't. It's not just like, oh, you have to have the strength of personal responsibility. Like, that's not really what it is. For a person to kick a drug habit and stay off of it, it requires a support network. It requires people and a community around them that can, number one, help support them through, like, dealing with the urges, dealing with the habits, like developing a new way of coping with their emotions. But it also requires, like, a material circumstance from which the drugs cannot offer a meaningful improvement, right? Because one of the reasons, and it's a complicated thing, but one of the reasons why some people get addicted to drugs, especially euphoric drugs, like we're talking heroin, we're talking painkillers, things like that, is because those drugs, and it goes for alcohol as well, they help people escape from the misery of their material circumstances, right? So if a person is going through severe emotional pain, if they're very lonely, if they don't have any prospects, if they don't have a job, if they don't have a community, like that makes drugs that much more enticing because they can offer the emotional fulfillment, at least a simulacrum of it, that the person doesn't have access to in their life, right? Which again is one of those things of like, when you have a person who has a support network, who has friends, who has family, right, who has access to the money it takes to like get the therapy and like the professional assistance that they need, a drug addiction is something that can be dealt with. Like depending on the specific kind of addiction, it's not something. A lot of drug addicts or former recovering drug addicts will tell you there's no such thing as being no longer an addict, but there is such a thing as learning to handle, to manage your condition, to manage your feelings, and like to get the things that you needed the drugs for from other places, right? And so it is like, this to me is right on the cusp of, because I've talked about it with season 2, right? That we get all these peaks at the class disparity in hell, right? We get all these little looks at the poverty, the class disparity, the misery, the difficulty, right, of hell, and the way that demons, or like imps rather, are the lowest of the low, the bottom of the rung, right? The people who get stepped on, the people who like get used by everyone else, right? Like we saw that with Mammon also, right? And I've been hoping for the show to delve a little bit deeper into that, like to actually go in on, okay, cool, like let's talk about class then. Let's like my beard grows longer and whiter, right? Like that red flag begins to billow behind me. Let's talk about class. Let's talk about class. Let's talk about class disparity. Let's talk about the unfathomable wealth of the Goetia and the poverty and misery that imps have to live under because of, I don't know, some fucking reason. Let's all get the guillotine and go get Satan. Let's do that. How about that? How about that? I've been hoping for the show to actually dive into that a little bit more and touch on it. And not just because I am a fucking, I'm a dirty European socialist. Not just because of that, but also because it's relevant, right? The class disparity between Stolas and Blitz is a really relevant condition when it comes to understanding like the difficulties in their relationship, right? Like why Stolas acted the way that he did, why Blitz is as untreated for whatever is wrong with him as he is, right? Like why he had his fucking mom murdered right in front of him, and the circus burned down, and he was horribly scarred, and his best friend was taken away from him, and Blitz has never had a day of therapy in his life. Why not? Well, how would he have had that? Stolas got medication. Did Blitz have access to that? I don't think so. I think he had access to a lot of drugs, but maybe not to medication that would actually help him, right? And that informs why Blitz is the way that he is, right? Like why he has the conflict resolution skills that he does, or doesn't in this case, right? And Stolas being such a imperious and self-centered person, right? Not because he wants to, but because he's just, Stolas is so used to, well, I am a Goetia. I am in control of things. It's my responsibility to do things. It's my responsibility to take control. It's my responsibility to like do the right thing, which is why he does what he does on full moon, right? Like why he presents this ultimatum to Blitz without ever really considering, like Stolas has decided that this is wrong, whether he's right or not. He just presents this ultimatum to Blitz without ever like raising the conversation with him properly, and without having the skills to raise the conversation with him, because Stolas has never been around someone like Blitz, right? He's never had to deal with a person like Blitz. He doesn't know what it's like. It's like, why are they mismatched for each other? Why was the start of their relationship so toxic? Well, it's fucking class. Like, la problema es el capitalismo. Like, every time. And I would like the show to talk about it, just if nothing else, because it helps the soap opera. It helps the soap opera. And I'm glad to see it do that. I'm glad to see it poke at that, especially given if season 3 we're going to see Blitz kind of on top of the world, right? Like celebrity, probably has a lot of business, maybe he's making good money, he's running his own company, he has like multiple employees. Blitz has a support network, right? He has enough of a support network that he can take care of Stolas. He has Moxie, Millie, he has Luna, right? Like who's also part of his support network. He has Stolas, like who also helps support him. Blitz is in a very different position, right? Like we've talked about how I want that to go to his head. I want the money to change him. I want Blitz to kind of lose his head to all of this. And Barb as a countervailing force to that, like as a person who can show up and rather represent, hey, dude, don't forget where you came from, right? That's interesting. Also because it can drive more conflict between him and Barb, right? That like Barb might have some very reasonable grievances with her big brother all of a sudden going away, getting famous and getting money while she's living in fucking squalor all the time. Especially if she also blames Blitz for killing their mom, right? Like, that could drive some really interesting conflict between the two of them. And again, as we talked about previously, I want these little shitheads to suffer, all of them. I want them to suffer and hurt and be miserable so that when there is catharsis, when we do reach some resolution, when healing does arrive through hard effort and work and grinding toil, then it's more satisfying. I do want Blitz to repair his relationship with Barb. I think no matter how much Barb might not like it, Blitz could be a pretty good part of her support network. Because I think he's one of the few people in hell who kind of understands some of the shit that she's been through. Man, the conversation with Barb and her girlfriend, like... So we talked about the light, right? We talked about how in that scene with the alleyway that Barb feels the pull, right? Like she feels the shit that, what if, no. And she says no, right? Like she nope, I'm not going to fall into this shit again. And then we get to this scene and she gets the accusation, right? Was it drugs? And we kind of know already that it isn't because the light doesn't flicker, right? It stays there. She's still in the light, right? Like she's not... And even when she gets the drugs in hand, no flicker, right? Like she has the drugs in hand. There's no flicker. Even when the conflict gets really bad, right? Like this is one of the things that can be a real trigger for like a drug addiction. A big personal falling out, like a big destroyed relationship, some really bad emotional thing that you need to escape from. For some people, that can be a trigger that causes them to relapse, right? But there's no flicker. I like that. I like the use of the light, because we see it there, right? That she has the baggie, she opens it, throws it away. There isn't even hesitate. She doesn't even really hesitate. She just kind of goes, nope. And that is like, that's a good coda to end on. I do like that. I like that it ends on this reassurance that, no, she has fucking kicked it. At least for today, she has fucking kicked it, right? Like, it is out of her. She is not tempted to it. And she's able to let go of it and throw it away, right? And the other signifier of that, right? Like, is she's had a shit day. She's had the worst day in the world, right? She's the most miserable she's been in a while, probably. Or else maybe this is just a normal shit day for her, who knows? And the break through the window and all of that. But because she did that, right? Because she was able to let go of that thing, which was like, if you don't want to feel the way you're feeling right now, well, it's right here. Right? If you don't want to feel the way you're feeling, here's the thing that'll take it away for a while. She was able to let go of it. And so when the brick comes through the window, right? The final piece of shit on a shit fucking day, she can kind of go, fucking hell. She can kind of laugh at it. Instead of being dominated by the pain, she can sort of roll with it. Because that wasn't her fucking fault, right? That's a thing that happened to her. Okay, fine, whatever. Like, and that is hopeful to me. I like that. I like that there's that hopefulness in there, right? Because that takes strength to do that. To have the worst day ever, the shittest, most fucking miserable garbage day ever, have a huge blow up with your loved one, and then a brick gets thrown through your fucking window. To be able to just kind of go, okay, fuck it. That takes strength. That's a strong person who's able to do that. I wonder if the three of them went and had a threesome after this. Probably. And I gotta say, I really do like... I really like the use of the light there. Like, just that they set it up, right? That it connects to whether Barb is able to stay in the light or she's falling to the dark side kind of vibe. And then we have the one bare bulb in the apartment and it never flickers. That's visually, I like that as storytelling. That she's able to hold on to the light no matter what. Like, even though, you know, it's a bad fucking day. Even though, like, at this moment, there's that temptation, right, to say, well, fuck it, then I'll just take the fucking drugs if you think I'm a druggie anyway, right? But, yeah.
One before.
Nice animation smear.
Before that, I'm running out of favors, Barb.
Yeah, well, I never asked you to do that.
Don't give me attitude. You know what? I can't deal with this right now. Keep your damn sandwich and sleep on the fucking couch!
That I never asked you to do that. I never asked you for favors. I never asked you to help me. That also feels... That feels a similar pathology. Like, that feels a similar way that Blitz reacts when he feels he's being, like, coddled, talked down to. It feels similar to the way Blitz reacted to Stolas's big favor, right? It feels of a kind with it. Not identical, but sort of like it comes from a similar place. And yes, I noticed the detail with the little sloth candle burning hearts. I noticed it. What the fuck was that drug, by the way? Like, what is that? Is that... It's H8, which is hate, right? Like, which... But... I guess just in the literal sense that it makes people hate each other, I guess? It's just like powdered hate that just makes you hate things. Okay. just pisses you off. I do like the through line of the two of them as well. That they show up in the train. We get the little reminder when they're making out, and then they show up again. That's a nice little way. Again, also because it kind of makes the world feel a little small in a good way, in the sense of like, oh, like it's like a consistent community around her. Right? When she takes the elevator back home, these are the kinds of people she'll run into. Almost to the point that's like, has she seen them before? Like, is this every week with these two motherfuckers? It's like, oh my god, it's these two fucking guys again. Right. Thursday. God damn, I hate Thursdays. Very cute that the little snake tail is also like, "Aw, I love you. You're just kissing back there, right?" This is a really good short. puts a hard limit on how much I have to say about it, though, because it's just like... It's just baseline good all the way around. Like, the character animation is solid the whole way through. There's a lot... You can see a lot of personality differences between the characters just in the way that they move. Barb's body language... Right, she's pissed at him. She looks at the thing and is like, oh shit, she got me that job. And then the frustration takes over and we get this like, oh, well, fuck you then! Right, like where it's like, she loses the capacity to hold on to it, right? She's tried to be nice, but yeah, no, that's... I mean, you can tell that the people making the show are, like, versed in meme language. That they understand meme language. Because, yeah, that's correct. Again, returning to class, right? Like, there's a level of class solidarity between the two of them as well, it feels like. But he knows she's fucking broke. He knows she doesn't have anywhere else to get money. Fine. Anywhere else to get food, rather. And of course, just like, it's the mammon ring. It's the money. It's the place where there's all of the money, but also all of the poverty. Class. It's class signifiers. It's about class! The problem is capitalism! Yeah. That's a good fucking short. That's a really good short. They have, like I've said before, I do like that the shorts are generally just kind of, oh, here's a bunch of stupid jokes, right? Like, here's a bunch of fucking shitpost jokes. Here's a bunch of cutaway, like, here's a bunch of gags, right? Here's a bunch of just us doing silly shit. I do like that. But then every once in a while, they do one as like, hey, let's spend some time with a character. Let's just spend some time with them. Let's just have a day in their life. The signifier of the sandwich again. Half a sandwich, right? And the breaking of the relationship. Whoosh. Why is my hand doing that? There we go. My little model was pointing downwards for some reason. Drugs are already a form of self-harm. Not necessarily. They can be. This is something to understand about, like, drug addiction is a very many varied thing. It can be for many different reasons and in many different ways. Like, for example, it's very common for people with ADHD to struggle with substance abuse because in the absence of a diagnosis and the absence of medication, a lot of ADHD people find, oh, if I get a certain amount of drunk, if I get a certain amount of high on something, that helps me manage my ADHD symptoms, right? Like that helps me deal with the fact that my unmedicated ADHD is kind of fucking ruining my life, right? When did Hell of a Boss become SAG-AFTRA? Well, they unionized not too long ago at Spindlehorse. Drugs aren't the problem so much as they're a maladaptive solution to the actual problem. Yeah, often they are. Like, often that's how a drug addiction can function, is because almost every time a person has a drug addiction, like I said, it's not that they are just weak of will and that the drugs have taken over their minds. That's sort of the thing you get from like after school PSAs and very special episodes, right? Like someone took a drug and then the drug made them addicted, and now they are an addict person and they have to be cured of the addiction by people saying, oh, you have to not take the drugs, you have to say no to drugs, and so on and so forth. But that's not what it is. If a person is severely addicted to drugs, it's often the case that there's an unfulfilled need in their life that the drugs are helping them cope with to some extent, right? It's not that uncommon for people, like, the reason why meth addiction is associated with with people of low income status is partly because methamphetamines allow you to do 2 12-hour shifts in a row at the 2 jobs that you have to work in order to just barely make rent, right? Like methamphetamines can keep you awake and active and alert and capable of holding down your life if you are a single mom working 2 jobs, trying to raise your children, pay your rent, maybe get access to healthcare, maybe get your child into a preschool, right? Like they tend to address in a bad way a need that a person has, right? And again, they're not always necessarily maladaptive, right? Like, there's a lot of functioning alcoholics out there. There's a lot of people who actually have an alcoholism problem, but again, because they are of economic means, where having an alcohol addiction doesn't immediately ruin their life, they sort of just function, and sometimes they can even find a way to sort of, they have alcohol problems, they drink too much, but they don't drink so much that it completely ruins their ability to function, and so they sort of just live their life like that, right? Which is where you get into these questions of, like, what counts as maladaptive, right? Like, what counts as medication versus what counts as, and not to say that alcoholism is ever a good response to anything. It is not, just in the sense that there's a lot of people who have dependencies on substances of various kinds who just kind of live in the world, and they don't ever get caught by a system because they don't ever fail, right? Like, they don't ever burn out, they don't ever crash. They manage their condition well enough for long enough that, as far as the rest of the world is concerned, they are functional, right? And so there's no reason to intervene. And again, it's that thing of, like, the higher your socioeconomic status is, generally, number one, the better quality drugs you have access to, whereas the poorer you are, the more likely it is that the drug you're taking has been laced with something else that is really gonna fuck up your health. And the more money you have, like, the better quality of drugs you can get access to. Good chance you get your drugs from someone who's actually a doctor. Like, that's fairly common in Hollywood, is that we know Elon Musk has a bit of a ketamine habit, right? How is he able to do that? Well, he has a doctor who prescribes it to him, that he pays to prescribe it to him, and who monitors him and makes sure that he never takes, like, a bad dose that's laced with something horrible, that he doesn't overdose, right? He has people to do that shit for him, which is why he's able to, like, very publicly be a ketamine addict. Allegedly. Obviously, but allegedly. So, like, it's socioeconomic status, right? Like, it's also the thing about being labeled a drug addict as a social category is, again, that's something we do to poor people for the most part, right? And part of the reason why being labeled a drug addict is degrading is because it's low class. Oh, drug addicts are poor. Drug addicts are dirty. They're low class people, right? And that's why it's insulting to be named, like, called a drug addict, right? Like, that's why we sort of take that as like a derogatory. But, like, lots of, like, smokers are drug addicts. Like, All smokers, all of them are drug addicts because they're all addicted to the nicotine, because that's what happens. Vapors tend to be drug addicts because they're also addicted to the nicotine. It's like, it's very easy to become addicted to a lot of things. And that's also the question of, like, what the fuck is an addiction? Well, what exactly counts as an addiction in many places and in many times is also kind of socioeconomically determined, because in some places, the definition of an addict is someone who has, like, a drug dependency that is ruining their life, which, again, if you have enough money, you can be a drug addict and it can't ruin your life because you're too rich, right? In which case you don't get labeled as one, right? There's a lot to it, right? But yeah, like, drugs are complicated. There's many different kinds of addiction. Like, there's many different reasons why people get addicted, right? But it is universally not ever a matter of just willpower. It's universally not just a matter of having enough discipline or good morals. Like, it's not a moral problem. It is not a moral failure to be addicted to a drug. And it's not, like, drug addiction as a issue is a medical issue. It is not a moral issue. Those are the most important things to understand. And I think that forms the basis for this short, right? Like, Barbie did not have a drug problem, because she seems to have kicked the habit because she's a bad person. Like, one assumes it's because her mother burned to death and her family fell apart and her dad is an abusive monster. One assumes that those are the things that the drugs offered some kind of balm or escape from, right? And it's because of her socioeconomic status, right? Like, the way that she lives. And it's not because she's a bad person or she's stupid. In fact, she seems to have a remarkable fucking amount of willpower. She seems to have a remarkable amount of resilience and capacity to weather a lot of difficulty. Which, like, I don't know if I live like her, if I have the strength to do that. I wonder if Cash was nearly as bad to her as he was to Blitz. I bet you some dollars he was worse to her. Just because of, misogyny. Like, I don't think Cash is a person who would be above misogyny. So, like, I suspect for as shit as he was to Blitz, because Blitz was at least like a moneymaker to some extent, I suspect Barb had it even worse. Plot twist, Cash is a feminist. That would be very, very funny if that's, like, the one thing where he's like genuinely woke on feminism. It's like everything else. No. He's a racist. He's, like, homophobic. But the one thing is, like, no, women are equal to men. That would be very funny. Did you notice the circus brand on Rick? Which one was Rick? Oh, Sandwich Rick. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that a circus brand, specifically? Huh, I didn't know that was associated with the circus, specifically. I guess that makes sense. Former colleague, then. Someone else who got burned out of the circus. That would explain why he has so much fondness for her. Childhood friend kind of situation. Yeah, this was just a good short. This was just a good little short story about a person coping with a lot of shit and dealing with it. Honestly, I think Barb handles this better than Blitz would have. Like, I think put Blitz through the exact same situation and someone's dead before the end of the day. But Barb is able to handle it. I really do like this. Like, I really do like this moment of just... This is so absurd, right? Like, this, like... Just, like, acceptance. Which is a difficult skill to practice. What is the fucking... Not that it's an endorsement of AA, but the slogan of an Alcoholics Anonymous, I think it is one of those... They involve one of those prayers, which is like, Lord, give me the strength to something, accept the things I cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. Reminds me a bit of that. I hope we get to see more of Barb. Like I said, like this if this is setting her up to be a foil for Blitz, right? Like, as if the show is actually delving into a bit of, and like, to be clear, I don't want the show to become like a socialist lesson on economics. They don't have to do that. I will do that in my reaction videos. I'll handle that. You should not get your political education from me, by the way. Please don't do that. Don't get your political education from me. Bad idea. Get it from actual books. Read Das Kapital someday. It's a bit fucking heavy, but it's a good read. But I do want it to be an examined part of the world building, right? Like, I want it to be a part of the world building that they go, yeah, this is here, this exists and it matters, rather than just... That's the thing that can sometimes happen, like when people, like when shows and stories kind of do poverty porn, right? Where it's like, oh, there's squalor and they're so miserable and they're living in such a poor place. Anyway, there's probably a reason for that. We're not going to examine it, right? Like, where it's like, yeah, misery and squalor, isn't it dramatic and isn't it sad that these people live in, oh, they live in all this squalor and isn't it bad? And it's like, yeah, and do you want to talk about the reasons why it is? No, it's just, oh wow, look at that, look at how miserable they are, right? That's a kind of like of upper class art looking down at the poors and sort of saying, oh, isn't it sad that the poors are so miserable all the time? Anyway, that probably has nothing to do with us. Father, I cannot click the book. Yes, you can. It's available as an ebook. Yeah, I want Barb to show up more. I want her to show up. I want Blitz to have to deal with her on some level. I don't want Blitz to quite have escaped his tragic past, which he hasn't. Like, I'm sure he hasn't, but Barb is like a sort of slightly haunting ghost, right? Like the one person he maybe most needs forgiveness from, but probably is never going to get it. That sounds like the setup to good drama. Especially if, like, I could absolutely imagine Barb and Blitz, if there's a situation where they meet, and they maybe break the ice and they start to talk, and maybe things feel a little bit like it did in the old days, just for a moment. That's another thing that, like, that could act as a trigger for both of their worst impulses. Right? Like, that's the kind of thing that could make both of them revert to maybe a state prior to the stability that they have reached. Right? Like, that's the kind of thing that can, like, and I don't mean necessarily like a drug relapse, but in the sense that they might both revert to basically younger versions of themselves and revert to some of the bad coping mechanisms that they used to have emotionally and things like that. Like, there's good drama there. I need Barb to meet... Yes. Barb as the aunt for... Can you imagine Barb being an aunt to Octavia? Can you imagine the two of them having a day out? Because, like, Luna, again, socioeconomically, Luna and Barb are sort of from the same, like, they're both from the same level of society to a certain extent, right? But Barb and Octavia... Where it's like Stolas and Blitz and like everyone is out on a mission or something. It's like, fuck, we have no one else to... Okay, Barb, look after her. Just don't do anything. Just sit there and stare at the wall. don't do anything. Just look after her so she doesn't get in any trouble. And then immediately, the two of them go out and get in trouble. Oh my god, yes. The two of them having a girl's day out. Fuck yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it would end well. I'm not saying it wouldn't be a disaster. I was saying it would be fun to watch. But I don't want to build up too many hopes for season 3. Inevitably, because, like, for all that, I want the show to do a great many things. Probably it's only going to do some of them, and presumably it has things in mind that I have not thought of, and I don't want to poison myself against that by building up expectations like, oh, they could do this, they could do that. Yeah, they could, but they are only going to do certain things. And it's very easy as a fan to sort of poison the well for yourself by, like, letting your mind run wild with the possibilities, and then you run into the reality of what it actually is, and it's like, oh, they were trying to tell a different story than the one I had in mind. And then you can... It's very easy to sort of build up the potential of something in your mind, and then when it actually arrives, you kind of go, oh, well, that's not the thing I had made myself excited for the past 6 months. That's a different thing. And now I feel disappointed. Even though the thing is actually pretty good, I still feel disappointed. You don't want to do that. You want to be careful about managing your own levels of hype, right? Save it for the fan fiction. Like, you can always write a fan fiction to inject the things you want into the thing. I've gone an hour and 10 minutes now. I'm going to stop.